Good morning, folks. Alex had asked me a while back to do a video on what I do with my beard care, facial hair, and over time I have been tinkering with a number of different things. I should mention right off the bat, there's one that I haven't went back and got another container. It's not that I don't want one to do. I just, when I'm going to order it, I'm going to order a few other things, so I'm kind of waiting a bit. And that's the Shaven Sailor. He has a beard oil. Steve's got a beard oil that the blend, I guess you might say, works fairly well with the color of my facial hair. Some oils have a tendency to change the color, and the color, per my wife, according to what she says, it's yellow. She doesn't like the yellow. But anyway, I understand what the blend is supposed to do, in that a person that's younger than I am, that doesn't have so much gray or white in the beard, gives it maybe perhaps a golden color to that beard, especially if you got something that's close to brown, a dark red or something like that. But at any rate, I don't have a container for that, so I wanted to mention that first so I wouldn't forget, since I don't have that container to help remind me. I think I'll start out with what I use when things are just wild, cannot get it to cooperate after I use what I'm going to use through the day. And I found this at Walmart for a whole $2, and I don't use it that often. And it's Murray's Beeswax. This stuff here, like I say, $2. You can kind of tell I haven't used a whole lot of it. Especially over here, this is the side I sleep on, so all that hair gets pushed this way. And some days it just does not like to cooperate. And this one here, like I say, $2 for something I don't use but every so often. Really easy to use. Work it into my beard, especially right here on the sides of my whiskers here, my mustache, and does a great job in controlling it. And a little bit goes a long ways. Of course, the idea is that you don't want that beeswax to be highly visible. And I've been able to tweak with it, work with it, and yeah, it works well on those days where the beard is just not cooperating, especially around the mustache area. Speaking of beard oil, I'd have to say, as it goes, this is a pretty reasonable price. It's been a while since I looked again. This is a 2-ounce container from Phoenix Artisan Accoutrements. You can get the scent that you want. This is the empty container because I'm thinking about making my own. Anyway, I think it was like right around the $11 mark. Pretty inexpensive, especially you compare. Yeah, here it is. For instance, Cremo, in other words, I can usually go to Walmart and find it, and has a beard oil also. But this one here is just a 1-ounce size, and this is 2 ounces, and this usually runs right around hitting right at the $10 mark, and I think this is 11, maybe $12. But for twice as much as this, as goes for volume, 2 ounces here, 1 ounce here, this is a better buy in my opinion. And you're gonna, whatever scent you enjoy, it's there. He does a great job scenting this beard oil. And in other words, if you're really liking, enjoying the scent, this would probably be a good way to go. My problem is that this is so good, it's so well scented that I smell it all day. So whatever I used in the way of an aftershave or anything of the sort, yeah, I don't smell it. So you might end up with several containers of these trying to match up what you're going to be wearing of the day. But anyhow, I just want to throw that out. I guess you might say the quality is definitely there with Phoenix Artisan Accoutrements with the scent, but that could come back to bite you if you're trying to, got an aftershave that's this scent, and it may or may not play well with what you're wearing that day. Just to throw that out there, something to think about. Perhaps an unscented might work better for you. This particular one here, I have been, matter of fact, there's a little bit of the Shaven Sailor's beard oil in this one, and just a little bit, and I was pouring it into consolidating containers. And this one here is tea tree mint, and I pick up the tea tree. To me, tea tree, that scent is very strong, and not one of my favorite scents. And of course, once again, once I put it on, even though there wasn't very much left in this container, with all the other that I mixed in there, it's still very stout. Just something to throw out there if you hadn't tried that scent. Um, Outside of that, if you're looking just to go into the store to find some, this one here is pretty easy to find. Works well. Don't have an issue outside of turning my gray hair yellow. I do have some beard oil from Vanillé. Monica also has a whole line of, pick your scent. That's the best way to put it. And this one here has a different kind of applicator. There we go. You squirt it out. And this one here is the Smoky Mountain Whiskey. And just like Phoenix Artisan Accoutrements, that scent is definitely there. And so you might want to keep that in mind when you're looking at a beard oil, especially one that's got a good scent to it. It's going to stick all day or most of the day, depending on if your nose goes blind to it or not. And mine, believe it or not, as bad as my nose is, usually all day I smell these scents from Vanillé and Phoenix Artisan Accoutrements. I'm not even talking about the tea tree. Anyway, another one from Phoenix Shade is this one here, and a mustache straightener. And it did help me in the beginning when my hair was a little bit shorter and as it was growing out and trying to get it to work well. This container, by the way, it just slides open like this right here. And it says it's got organic wax, organic white beeswax, cocoa butter, castor oil, essential oils, unless unscented. This one here, when I first got it, I just swear to God I could pick up, and sometimes I still too, it seems like I pick up a little bit of a smoke. In other words, like this one here's got a little bit of smoke to it. I swear this one here has it. At any rate, that's what it looks like. For me, the way I use it, warm or hot water, if you will, I kind of warm it up and then work it into my facial hair there. This has lasted me a good long while. Not that I've used it every day, of course, but when I do use it, it does. This does seem to go a long ways. And I think at the time I paid $6.99 for it. It's not real expensive, and for me, it does the trick. I like this. Definitely like that scent, that smoke. It's a different kind of smoke. I'm having a hard time putting my finger on exactly what that smoky scent is, but I do like. I think the best way to probably associate what kind of smoky scent I smell is something like if somebody's smoking meat. This is just awesome. Also, during the summer months, I forgot to get it. Especially right now, what I am using is I'm using Sterling's beard oil. This one here is just a 1 ounce container, and it's because when I got this one here, it comes in a set of 3. You can get 3 of them for a particular price, and what did it say, $10? I can't remember for sure. But anyway, you can get different flavors, and now this particular beard oil, in comparison to what I've already showed you, this one here, to me, in my opinion, is a little thicker. So if you got some hairs that typically are always wild or want to be wild, this one you might try, in other words, what I call their sample pack, the 1 ounce size, because he's got some bigger ones. I just prefer the sample pack for me. That way I get more flavors, if you will. This one here is thicker, and it helps hold those wild ones down, if you will. Also, when I put this on my face, I say on my facial hair, whatnot, I do work it in when it comes to the beard oil, as well as to a certain extent the beard balm also. I work it in, and it's when you're done, the hair's going every which way when I get done. And I did forget this. As it goes for taking care of those whiskers after you apply it, I go two different directions, and this is just me. There are some days that all I need to do, I have a little comb here that I got free, and this one here, this comb works just fine. You can get some at a barber supply, especially online. Atlanta Barber's one I usually go to anymore. Uh, they'll have a one for your mustache or beard or whatever in the way of a comb. This one here just works just fine. Got it at the bookstore, free. So I'm just using it. And also the Cremo beard brush. There's been a brush I've seen on AliExpress that looks very close to this. It's hard to tell the difference between the two. But these bristles, this is a natural bristle. It's boar. So yeah, it's going to be scritchy. And I do use it every once in a while. It does a good job getting all the way through. In other words, I can feel it on my skin. In other words, to untangle what mess you might have after you end up washing it. Usually at the, like I say, at the end of my shaves, I've got the shaving cream that's all over my face, and then I rinse it out through my beard. That kind of helps sometimes with the scent if I'm using something that's a little on the unscented side. Something on the unscented side, here's an example of one right here. I don't really pick up a particular scent in the way of it's not naturally occurring, and this one here is it looks a lot like Cremo, but this one here I would consider the one I got as unscented. Uh, here's one here from Cremo, and this one here runs, you get what, 2 ounces, and it runs you the $10 mark. And that's what it looks like there on the inside. For me, I just rub my finger around it, warm it up, then I start working it into my facial hair. And just to be able to walk in a store and pick up a beard balm, this is not a bad one by any means, in my opinion. And if you're got one that's a little scruffy, pokey, in other words, the ladies don't particularly care for how pokey your beard might be, this, in my opinion, does a great job of softening it up. In other words, it's you're already out of the shower. In other words, your cream rinse done, over with, whatever you might use with your facial hair. This stuff right here, to me, really softens it up pretty good. This is pretty good stuff for that sort of thing. Sometimes, depending on the situation, like this morning, I used this aftershave balm. I might work the aftershave balm into my face also because I'm wanting to carry that scent the rest of the day. Just throwing that out there. Just a thought. Here's another one. I guess you might say one of the last ones I got. This one here is a beard butter. I can typically find this one in the store at Target, but the Target in my area is very spotty. And I have to double check and look again, because last time I was in there I noticed they were rearranging things. Typically that means somebody's getting booted off the shelf. And this one here is Wise Men Blend. So you can order this online. I think I can't remember which one of the barber shop places online was carrying this, and I can't remember which one now. But anyway, this one here, you got 4 ounces of goodness in here, and think it was $12.99 for this container, I think. Not too terribly expensive, especially since you're getting 4 ounces. And it's definitely a butter. It's a lot like a aftershave balm, about that sort of thickness. And I mean, it is very easy to apply. And I like this scent. This scent works well for my nose. I think there's 1 or 2 other scents, and I think one of them's kind of got mint in it. But anyway, there's a whole selection of stuff out there. You can go wild on all the different oils and beard balms and everything else that you can find out there. But for me, this is what I've kind of narrowed things down to, and eventually I probably would do even more so. And if you're really wanting to step out of the box just a bit, I'm sure you've seen some of those men hair care products that will help shape your hair. You can kind of tell I haven't had any hair in years. Pomade, I think is what it's referred to. Clubman's got some, and I didn't bring Clubman in here, did I? I got some Clubman beard balm, and it's relatively inexpensive. The prices drop, I think, about $2.95 is what I picked up a whole bunch of it off the shelf at CVS because it was so inexpensive. It's another one that works well going for hair like mine that's kind of white. It blends in real well, doesn't turn my beard yellow, but there might be some ingredients in there that some folks may not like. I've got one over here, I almost forgot to mention. You can find this with, sometimes that's Clubman branded, but you might find this in a store, and this one here is referred to as a wax. I think Clubman refers to theirs as a cream. It comes with a little brush, little comb. Uh, that might be worthwhile checking out also. It's has a lot of control, but not to the extent of wax. And of course, then not quite, you don't have to worry about it being visible. It seems just to blend right into your facial hair. Wow, I'm already up to going on the 16 minutes. At any rate, I thought I'd throw this out there. I'm going to try to get it posted before I go to work, but if I don't, it'll be later on today. And anyway, I hope everybody's doing well. Have fun with this stuff. That's what life's all about, right? Everybody smooth shaves to you. Stay safe out there. It's hot.